It's an absolute privilege for me to introduce to you this evening Bob Boone. Bob and I and his wife Betty went on the coastal walk to Emmaus #1, and that was in 1980 something. We were mere children. But so I've known them since then, and it's just a pleasure to know these people. I can't tell you a lot about Bob, but I can tell you who Bob is. The little bit that I will tell you about him is that he grew up in a missionary family in India, and then has, done all it takes to be an ordained United Methodist minister, has been in the ministry for a bit. He'll tell you those things if he wants to. But the important thing is that he is now the chairman of that's not right. He's the vice president of, he'll say it anyhow. He is the chaplain at the children's home and is the vice president of community relations, church relations, and it's a very important position because he is the only one in that department, he said, and sometimes he can't even get along with that guy. So Bob is great fun. You will enjoy hearing him, but the important thing is he brings to us the message about the children that we support. We every Christmas, we give our gift cards, and the people who have been to deliver those cards each year are so complimentary of the reception that they get from those people and their appreciation. If you've not been on the campus of United Methodist Children's Home, it is just right out on Pierce Avenue in Macon. It is a beautiful campus, an active campus, and I would encourage you to go by there and at least drive through and see it, or make an appointment and let them give you a tour. So it is just a pleasure to say to you, or to introduce Bob. One more thing, his wife Betty is a musician and is working on a play tonight, and he said his stock answer is, when somebody says, well, where's Betty? His stock answer is,
she's heard me before.
she has heard me before. But I'm hoping that they will come back on a Sunday morning and he will preach for us and Betty will sing for us. So Bob, it's just a pleasure to have you.
Flo and I were just mere children when we went on the walk to Emmaus together, and what a lot of fun. One of the great things I love about being a Christian is you don't have to leave old friends behind, you just keep adding new friends. And the old friends just get sweeter and dearer as the time goes by. So, thank you so much for that kind introduction. Probably the most important thing about me is that I have 6 grandchildren, 3 of whom were born the day we moved to Macon a year ago. Our daughter had twins, and our son and his wife had a single birth. They were all born within 7 hours. And I sat my daughter had twins, and my daughter-in-law had a single birth. And, we were all I sat on the edge of my bed at the end of the day and said, well, Lord, what a day this has been. And so we just have had great celebration. It's been fun to watch those little ones grow up. Yesterday, my daughter and her husband went to the play where my wife is directing, and I got to take care of the 3 grands. We had a great time. Nobody was injured permanently. And so anyway, but it's great to be here at Hopewell. My gosh, I don't know. I have never had a chance to be here before. When I drove up, I thought, cool. Because you can tell when you go to a place by the outside, before you ever come in, whether somebody actually cares about the place or not. And you all know what I'm talking about. You go by some of these places and you think the big bad wolf came and gave one more puff on that thing, the whole thing would come down. Or somebody, it was painted 50 years ago. And anyway, you all take good care of the place. It's inviting, it's warm, and I am so grateful to be here. Flo said, Sunday night. She said, church dinner. I said, I'll be there. So anyway, this is great to be here with you, honestly. I love every chance I get to say a good word for Jesus and a good word for our kids at the Methodist Children's Home. You mentioned coming to visit us. You all are so close. Please do. Whoever's the head of some group, or if you're not the head of any group, just call us up, bring a carload, a van load, whatever you want, and just call me up and say, hey, can we come on such and such a day? And we would love to host you so that you can get a tour of the place, and we'll feed you lunch. Deal? Okay, so it's a remarkable thing to see there, and you have an opportunity to see where our kids live and so on. But God's doing a lot of good stuff there, and you help make that possible. So thank you for your generosity. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for thinking of our kids, because you're making a difference. Now, when everybody, if they know anything about the Methodist home, they think, Macon. And Macon is our main campus. But we have 5 other campuses around. We have one in St. Mary's, one in Valdosta, one in Americas, one in Columbus, and then one in Waverly Hall. Anybody know where Waverly Hall is? Oh yeah, you got lost and went there too? Yeah, Waverly Hall is just a crossroads out there. But somebody willed it to us who didn't have any heirs, and the place there, you don't remember Gone with the Wind? It's Terra. There's this beautiful building out there with the columns and all that stuff. That's one of the places for our girls somebody gave to us, and God's pouring out a lot of blessings there. Now, I want to just say a quick word to you. What Elizabeth Taylor said to her 5th husband. I won't keep you long. So, but I do want to just take a few minutes and tell you a little bit about the work that we do at the home, and then I want to just tell you a real quick story that I think gets to the heart and the why we do what we do. All right, before I forget, I have over on that table there some of these green envelopes. If I don't mention the green envelopes, I will be shot. But if you'd like to give a special gift to honor the kids that are at the home, we will use this to bless them. So over there are some of these envelopes, and you feel free to do that. I love to do this myself. So I'm going to put in the first offering tonight. I've got a $50 bill. Anybody know who's on 50? Grant. Yeah, there you go. Probably our least sober president. And so anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put in this offering. And so anyway, if you feel like you would like to do that, you please do it. Okay, so when we talk about the ministry that we do with our kids, one of the things that always tickles me, this ministry was begun about the same time this church was started. Ours was in 1872. What's it say on your sign out there? I saw it was 1870 something, I think. 76. Okay, so right about the same time, just post Civil War, there were lots of orphans. I mean, just real orphans. We forget, because of the time we live in, we forget that there were so many people back then who simply died. An epidemic would come through, boom, people would be gone. We'd get together and we'd say, where's old Vernon? And you didn't hear? He was by. I saw him last Sunday. Yeah, well, he, boom, kicked the bucket. Okay, I take that back from you, Vernon. But people would just die quickly and suddenly. Well, and of course, through the Civil War, there were lots of people who were killed. And so anyway, there were genuine orphans. But you know who started this thing? And this just tickles me to death. Is a preacher. You know what his name was? Reverend Boring. Now, that's just wrong. somebody could have told him he could change his name. But he was a wonderful man of God and really loved kids. But it started out as orphans, in the literal sense. Today, we have hardly any real orphans there. Almost all of our children come to us through Department of Family and Children's Services or through the Department of Juvenile Justice. And our kids are taken out of their home by the state because it has become too dangerous. They're suffering abuse or neglect. And, when I think about that, I think about how sad it is that things have gotten so terrible for these kids that it's better for them outside their home than within. Like Skylar. Oh my gosh, I wish you all could have met him. When he came to us, he was this little kid, about 10 years old, and I'm sorry to even have to say this, but we've got a whole cottage that is just for little boys who've been sexually abused. I mean, you see these kids, and on the one hand, they're just cute as the dickens. On the other, sometimes they are just uncontrollable. There's this rage inside of them, and rightly so. Nobody should be treated like that. And so here are these kids. Anyway, Skylar's one, so he comes in. And I'm sorry, it's not Skylar, it's Siler. So Siler, one day he was just mad as a hornet. And he was just stomping around. And he came in to see our president, CEO, Allison Evans, who is a gift from God, and I bring you greetings from her. But he stormed in and he said, "I want out of here." She said, "Well, sounds like you're having a tough time. So what's up, Siler?" And he said, "Well, somebody pushed me on the basketball court." He had this flaming red hair, red freckles all over his face. And so she let him just kind of blow off some steam. And she said, "So is there anything else bothering you?" And then he got right down to it. I wish you could see this little kid. He takes his t-shirt, pulls it up over his eyes. You can see kids do that. So that she can't see his eyes more than he can't see her. And he says, "In 17 days, I'm about to turn 11 years old. And I didn't have a 10th birthday party. And I didn't have a 9th birthday party. And I'm afraid I'm not going to have an 11th birthday party." Now, y'all, no child ought to ever have to think, "Gosh, I wonder if I'm going to have a birthday party." Well, Allison looked at him and said, "Siler, I don't know if you're going to be here still or not, but I want you to know this. I'm going to promise you are going to have an 11th birthday here. And, by the way, what kind of cake do you like for this?" And that little carrot top kid said, "Like strawberry cake." So he had on his birthday not one, but 2 strawberry cakes. Now, you say, well, how important is it for an 11-year-old kid to have a strawberry cake on his birthday? Really? See, one of the things that is right at the heart of what we do, we say that the mission, in response to Christ and the church, the mission of the Methodist home is to be a model agency that, here's the first thing, restores childhood. These kids have had their childhood stolen away from them. They just haven't had a chance to be kids in a safe and loving and nurturing environment. And so what we want to do is help restore childhoods to them. Let them know somebody loves them, somebody cares. So you say, okay, well, I think Flo has mentioned you all give gift cards and things at Christmas time. Well, how important is that? Well, let me tell you why that's so important. Because there are some kids, even though they don't know you getting that gift card, or you don't know them, still, they know somebody cared enough, loved them enough, even without knowing them, that they provided something that would bless them and bring joy to their hearts. So you and I know that Christmas isn't just about getting stuff, but it is about remembering that you're loved. And sometimes the things help in that. So I don't want to fail to say to you, thank you, thank you, thank you for your kindness and generosity. It makes the biggest difference to our kids. When I was talking one day with one of our kids, he was mad too. We have a lot of mad kids. And, he was just on fire about something, and I said, okay, come on, Corey, let's go take a walk. And then sometimes we literally just go take a walk to help burn off some energy, have a little time to kind of blow off some steam. So, Corey and I are just walking. I'm walking, he's stomping. And he said, I just want to be happy. I thought, that sounds reasonable to me. And so he said, well, I went the other day, I think it was actually on Easter Sunday, he went to somebody's house. And they'd taken him for the day. And he said, we went to church, and we all worshiped together, and then we went back home, and we sat around this big table, and everybody passing around all this food. You know what he was describing? Norman Rockwell. And you, my dear, have no idea who Norman Rockwell is. He's an old dead guy who painted some pretty pictures. Anyway, but that's what he was, that's what he was saying. I just want to be around people who love each other, who are happy, who care for each other. And then he said something to me. I mean, you and I know that around us, Milledgeville, Macon, and around us, not talking the other side of the world, around us are hungry children. Literally hungry. I am embarrassed to say this, but when I was young, I heard people say, well, how come, we're just providing this free lunches and breakfast at school and blah, blah, blah. And, I thought, what do we... Well, then I found out why. I'm telling you, many of us have kids who are saying, oh, gross, we got to go back to school in a week or 2 weeks or whatever. You know what? There are a bunch of kids out here who are saying, oh, finally we get to go back to school so I can get a decent meal. Anyway, but Corey told me something I'd never heard anybody say. He said my brother and I would get so hungry, we would go to the freezer and get ice. Even though we knew it was just water, when you crunched it, it at least felt like you were eating something. Now I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, it just ought not be that way. And so we have some kids who come to our place and they eat all they want for the first time in their lives. And we do that because we want them to know that we love them and we care for them. Okay, so I want to just tell you this one story, and then we'll wrap up. You realize how important I am tonight. Okay? I am the only thing standing between you and food. So I want to honor you on that and finish this up quickly. But I want to tell you a story. Have any of you, are you familiar with the story of Les Miserables? Okay? Victor Hugo. And then, how about this one? The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Okay, now we're hearing about that. Okay, you've seen the movie. Nobody's read the book in a million years, but it's an incredible story. So I'm going to tell you there's two parts of the story, and then I just want to tell you how that relates to our kids. We have what we call, at the Methodist home, in dealing with our kids, because a lot of them are difficult to deal with. They have so much anger and rage inside. But we use what we call the sanctuary model. So let me ask you, what does the word sanctuary mean? It means a safe place. So you worship over in a sanctuary. And a sanctuary is always, it's meant to be a safe place. Now, for us spiritually, it ought to be a safe place, and this is just as a side light. I hope everybody always is welcome in your church, because it ought to be a safe place for all of us sinners. No one's any better than anyone else. Anyway, so we operate off the sanctuary model, and we say our kids have come from places where they are threatened and in danger, where they are harmed and neglected, but when they come to us, they have found sanctuary. So, now back to the hunchback. The Quasimodo is born and abandoned on the doorstep of the Cathedral of Notre Dame. Like the real one, that was
The one that burned.
the burn. There you go. All right, so probably the first time that church has been on fire in a while. Anyway,
That's terrible, Joe.
so, but he's abandoned there. The priest takes him in and trains him as he's growing up to ring the bells. And don't be thinking any hand bells. These are these big old long. So he does this, and hence after a while, hunchback, and that's where the name comes. But Quasimodo, one day in Paris, each year they have a parade, and they have this parade of fools is what they call it, and they have the king of fools, who's sort of like the grand marshal, except with none of the pride that goes with it. They just pick out some, and that year they choose Quasimodo. All day long they parade him on this cart all through town, and everybody's laughing at him and making fun of him. He comes to the end of the day, and he's just exhausted, hasn't had anything to drink. And as he gets down off the cart, he just collapses in fatigue. And suddenly, out of the crowd, comes this kind of spicy woman of the night, Esmeralda. And Esmeralda's got a past, if you're with me. And Esmeralda comes out, and she gives him a drink of water. Wow. He never forgets that. And I love the Anthony Hopkins version of the play or the movie. And he always goes around after that. He says, "Water. She gave me water." He never forgets that water. She gave me water. Wow. Well, now fast forward in the story. A lot of stuff's happened. Esmeralda is on another cart, and they're taking her to the center of Paris, where she is going to be hung. Well, they're carrying her, down, and people are lying with, the streets are lined with people hollering at her, and it goes in front of the cathedral. When suddenly, out of the cathedral, nobody expects this, bursts Quasimodo. He just dashes out. Nobody, this happens in an instant before anybody even realizes it. Runs out, grabs her off of the cart, runs back into the doorway of the church, turns around, and yells out one word. What is it? Sanctuary! And he takes her inside where nobody can touch her, because she's in a safe place. I want to say thank you to you, because through your prayers, through your giving, through your acts of kindness, from loving on our kids, the things that may seem small to you but are huge to them, you are not just giving them sanctuary, you are being a sanctuary for them. So thank you for helping our kids to be in a safe place. Well, it's a pleasure to be here, and it's about time to eat. So I know we've already had a prayer, John. Thank you for praying for the food. But may I just pray a blessing on you all, okay? Lord, thank you so much. What a great church with a great heart. We are so grateful that we're in a place where it really is a sanctuary. We are in a safe place. We know we are loved. We know we're cared for. And in a world like ours, so many people, they don't know that. Well, that's why you send us out every week into our work or neighborhoods or wherever our paths take us to help love people in the name of Jesus. So give us grace, and Father, should there be some among us whose hearts are really broken and who have deep wounds within, would you let them know that today Jesus is a sanctuary for them? In Christ's name we pray. Amen.
Amen.